PTF and JK back with you. What a weekend of racing it is. We've got you covered on the In the Money Media YouTube channel. Lots of videos going to be posting. This is the first one. We're talking about Belmont at Aqueduct, races with Breeders' Cup implications starting on the Friday card. JK, let's just dive right in and talk about this action on Friday. Belmont at Aqueduct. We've got a win in your in race for the Juvenile Turf Sprint. It's the Futurity. Who do you like?
I like Minty. Minty obviously was a very talented horse who debuted, broke a track record at Aqueduct. A little bit tricky because they don't really run those types of races at that distance typically any longer, but he still ran really well, ran really fast. He's a full brother to Fierceness, who's likely going to be the early favorite or pretty close to it for the Breeders' Cup Classic. The thing I like about Minty is that these City of Lights love the turf. If you look at DRF and you look at the top 20 progeny of City of Light, 9 of them have run and won on the turf or run well enough on the turf, have been turf horses. So I think this is going to be just fine for Minty. I trust Todd Pletcher. Give me Minty in the Futurity.
I could see it for sure based on the talent, the hype surrounding him. I was going to go with one little bit unusual angle. We talk about turnbacks and distance a lot on the dirt, but there's a horse in here who I just think this turnback and distance is going to really suit him. That's number 6. I'm Otter here. Very interesting to me on the cutback from a mile to the sprint distance, just because this is sprint breeding top and bottom. And looking at the pace figures this one's been running, I think the horse can be competitive here. If you look at what he was running to the sprint distance in his races, those numbers are better than the finals of what a lot of these other sprinters have been doing. I think this horse is going to be positioned mid-pack in behind the speed, which there's plenty of, and that this one's going to come running. Let's move to Saturday and talk about Belmont at Aqueduct, the Grade 3 Jockey Club Derby. No win in your in stuff here, but I thought it was an interesting race for us to pause on for a moment. I was wondering, JK, if the bloom might be off the Charlie Appleby rose enough that we get a decent price on Legend of Time. Last time, maybe moved a little bit too fast into that, or a little bit too soon into that fast pace. The other pace horses ended up last and second to last. I'm interested to see what this one could do because I thought it was also compromised by a pace scenario 2 back. I certainly respect Carson's run, but I was going to go with number 7, Legend of Time. Who do you like in this Jockey Club Derby?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the blue, but not the Godolphin blue. Legend of Time, a little bit too inconsistent for me. He's starting to kind of have a reputation of having an excuse. Carson's run, deterministic. Yep, sure, make a lot of sense. I think they're going to take some money. I'm going to go with El Razine, the Todd Pletcher trainee that got Dylan Davis a win, who's on back-to-back wins. I like that horse's last race up at Saratoga, and I'm going to go with this horse, kind of the opposite of the obvious, right? The obvious is that the Carson's runs, the deterministics, the Legend of Time. I'm going to go with El Razine.
I mean, I think it's a bold play, and I like where you're going with that. I'm going to take a minute to thank the sponsor of this video. Twin Spires are back in the contest game, and they're back in a really big way. They just announced that the Kentucky Derby betting challenge is coming back, but you don't have to wait to get involved in Twin Spires contests. They're happening nearly every day, including a big NHC BCBC qualifier at the weekend. Go to twinspires.com and click on that contest tab, and you'll see this full schedule of events. Very exciting to have twinspires.com now as a major player in the contest space, and one of the best places to get your qualification for the Breeders' Cup Betting Challenge in just a couple weeks' time. Let's continue on with action on Saturday, JK, and talk about the Belmont Turf Sprint Grade 3 action happening as race number 6. Nothing Better, I thought, was a horse that's going to take a lot of money that I'm interested in. Very consistent, makes his own trip, tries hard, in good form. Just a neck and a nose from being going from the 5-peat in this spot. I respect Allegan, who we talked about before his win last time at Parks, but Nothing Better, the top pick for me in the Belmont Turf Sprint. Who do you like in here?
Yeah, I'm reading your email, Pete, here. I'm going to go with Nothing Better as well. Nothing Better, first of all, there is nothing better than speed in turf sprints. So that makes sense to me. He's drawn well towards the outside. I love that in turf sprints. That way he doesn't have any decisions to make. He can just kind of sit out there and let them dictate what they want to do to the inside. But the other thing, too, is that although he is a speed horse and he has run well going 5.5, he's run very well going 6. So I'm not worried about the distance for him. He specifically run well at Aqueduct before as well, too. So I'm going to go with nothing better towards the outside with that speed in a turf sprint.
We're a chorus there. I think we're going to be a chorus in the next race we talk about. I will tease, people are going to watch and they're going to say, Belmont Saturday, how are you not talking about the Champagne? Well, because we have another entire video focusing on the Kentucky Derby points races that are happening on this Saturday. You'll find our analysis of the Champagne there. So we'll close out this video with a discussion of the Frizette, and I will not take actually, you know what? We'll add some bonus coverage for the Miss Grillo. So we'll do two more, but we'll start with one more on Saturday. That's the Frizette. Have a feeling we're going to be in lockstep here based on a horse that really stands out over this field. I won't take the meat off the bone, though. You tell us who you like in the Frizette.
Well, it's Senza Parole, probably the most impressive 2-year-old that we saw at Saratoga. I mean, obviously, Ferocious was pretty impressive on debut as well. But Senza Parole feels like the type of horse that's going to want to go longer. Chad said that in the post-race interview, that she was a horse that he always thought would go longer, but she's still fast enough to win and do what she did on debut. The horses that were behind her in that race, there was a horse that was like the next fastest horse in the world for Brad Cox. Senza Parole got after her pretty good in that race. That horse came back and won again and ran faster than she did on debut. I think Senza Parole is a real deal. And in fact, she's starting to feel a little bit like an all-in push for the Breeders' Cup betting challenge.
Little bit of a preview there. I'm with you, and I have little to add. I mean, when you're that fast and you make that visual impression, and the way she shaped in that race with the upline getting faster the whole time, and then looking at the blood, the mile might even be better just on bloodlines. I hadn't even heard that Chad quote. I think you can go in there with confidence. Hopefully I'm not putting you away by adding the Miss Grillo here. They haven't redrawn it yet, but it's assuming the same field from last weekend. We won't talk numbers because we don't know what they'll be. But I really like Virgin Colada in this spot. I think this horse is going to get a great trip. And there's others in here that are going to take money. I think we might have an opportunity to get a little price on Virgin Colada. I think you're going to go with the other Chad Brown, though, aren't you?
Well, I think all three Chads are extremely live, but I am going to try to beat all three Chads from an on-top pick. I'm going to use all four of these horses in multi-race wagers. Virgin Colada, who I think has had 2 really rough trips and has run extremely well. Sneaky good internal fractions for Virgin Colada. Also, Opulent Restraint, who I thought ran extremely well. Exits that really important maiden 2-year-old turf race where Good Long Cry was in there. Opulent Restraint, Raining Flowers, and another horse, I believe, was in their 4th that came back and won. So they're a very productive race. And then Marvelous Madison, I don't think you want to ignore her. She was a horse that was entered twice going long on the grass. Those races got rained off. Chad snuck her in a turf sprint at the end of the meet to get a win, to get her progressive, to get her going in the right direction. I think she wants to go longer. I think she's going to be pretty tough to beat as well. I think all 3 of these Chad runners can absolutely run, but I'm going to go with Belmont and go with Scythian, who was drawn towards the outside. I don't know if they're going to redraw or if they're going to just run it back like it was.
Probably redraw.
Scythian, I believe she was the 11 last week. We'll see where she draws here. She ran extremely well. Faced the boys trying to dodge some weather, a move that Bill Mott's trying to seem to kind of perfect up there at Saratoga, dodging the weather, running horses against other sexes. So I like Scythian in here. I thought she ran extremely well up there, and I think you'll get a pretty nice price with all the attention on 3 live Chad Brown runners.
Not only do we have so much happening just for this weekend, we've got a ton happening in the Money media universe for the Breeders' Cup. We've got a free preview this weekend for In the Money Plus. If you sign up just to our free newsletter, inthemoneypodcast.com/email, you'll get to see all that stuff. And you'll have an opportunity then, if you like what you see, to subscribe to our Plus service, and that'll get you all the rest of our great extra Keeneland coverage, as well as our full Breeders' Cup package. This is going to be the last time this package is included as part of the regular Plus. I'll production meeting in the middle of the show that right now. But right now you have a chance to get all the regular Plus stuff, extra stuff every week, as well as the Breeders' Cup package just for $20. But anyway, if you sign up for the free email, you'll see plenty of information about that. Also, don't miss any of our YouTube exclusive content. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. And you've heard what we think. We want to hear what you think. Let's put some comments down there about who you like in these Belmont and Aqueduct races this weekend. And stay tuned to In the Money Media for more, much more.